This is my international challenge team. It uses special Zekrom. Lo and behold, that's a +1 using special Zekrom. I've used it in, what, 3 events now? It's good. I don't give a shit. I actually think Zekrom walks into a bar and there are no counters. I think Zekrom walks into a battle and there's not like any Pokemon that says like, Zekrom, side me up. Because like you could Max Wormwind a Groudon to make it so they can't kill you. You can kill their Calyrex Ice before it can get Trick Room up. You can kill its setters and stuff like that. And even if they do, they have to max the Calyrex Ice. You can just ally switch at that turn. Like, there's so many things. What do you think of G-Max Butterfree? I think that Butterfree team goes up on Patreon on Sunday. This team goes up on Patreon on Sunday, and the video with this team goes up on Wednesday. So, very good team with Butterfree. But, back to this one. So, I love Special Zekrom. I think it's really good. I think if you were to lead Comfey Zekrom into almost any matchup, you're winning. Because you can say, I'll Policy Proc against people I'm better than. I can Trick Room against things that are faster than me. I can Protect and let them Policy Proc me with Protect. There's so many things you can do. You have such great secondaries in Calyrex and Bronzong. This is very similar to my Players Cup 3 team in that instead of running like Entei and Charizard, we straight up have a Calyrex Ice now. So now Zekrom doesn't have to do everything. You say Butter Knife, you don't even know the half of it. This team just walks up and people just like, there's no, the only thing that gives this Zekrom real problems is people trying to anticipate what max move I'm using and switching in like a ground type or switching in like a fairy type just to derail my max turns. But even if they do that, if I play the game correctly, after turn 1, I can just switch out Comfey for Calyrex and just Glacial Lance every single turn. So if you want to try and switch defensively, you're switching while also eating a Glacial Lance. It's really, really cool team. So you can see, this is me just like, I'm recording, and remember I have to record this just because I've been dealing too much with like pressure lately. But you can see, we're signing up for the competition right here. First game. I already locked in my team. We're good to go. And Pikachu was talking about how they liked Comfey so much. You're going to love Comfey in this one. You're going to love Comfey in this one. So this is my very first game in the tournament, right? Very first game. Here we go. 1500 JP player. And of course, you know, there's no restricted, obviously. So like I said, that's going to totally happen. We want to lead Comfey, Zek, Calyrex, and Bronzong. Right? In every situation. In almost every situation, this is what you're going to be leading. And I really do think that like the only Pokemon we're even realistically afraid of here is Garchomp. Urshifu, a little bit scary. We have to respect the Lax, but we can turn off the ability to go like G-Max Lax and get its berries back every time with Calyrex. That's fine. Lapras is a little bit meh, but we can just dumpster it with a Zekrom. We don't need to set TR. So the only case in which we set TR is if we see like Urshifu and Garchomp as the lead, which is kind of crazy. That we're totally going to see Garchomp or Urshifu. But you do still need to respect these sort of teams. You do need to respect them. Don't be dropping games to teams that, you know, you can beat. This team works perfectly well to just take games like this. And I want to say, you always should respect opponents. Never just go complete autopilot. You're going to actually see me almost autopilot this one. Watch what happens. Watch what happens in a minute. But I will say that, like, I really had a lot of fun recording this as opposed to, like, streaming it and casting it and talking with chat. I've just been super stressed out. Like, really, really stressed out lately. To the point where, like, I'm like this a lot. You know, my hands are shaking. Knees weak, arms spaghetti. And it's just been, it was good to know that I could still perform even under a little bit of pressure like this, even against a team that, you know, I had a good matchup against. Of course, they do lead with the 2 fast things that do force my Trick Room, right? So in this matchup, you know, I would like to get my Trick Room up, but, you know, I would normally want to go Protect Trick Room. And I almost misplayed here because, again, my nerves are like really on top of it. Well, not on top of it. I wanted to go Trick Room and Protect. And I was like, wait, that's an Urshifu Dark. I can't Trick Room Protect. I still want to Trick Room, right? Force them to double into the Comfey with like a Max Steel Spike Garchomp or something. But I should just max the Zek because they can't pop me in the mouth. Even if they go for like an Earthquake or even like a Max Quake Wicked Blow, it's not going to pop our Zek. Our Zeki boy's way too bulky. So we big maxing right now. You know we love the Big Max. And let's just set this music to be a little bit better. There we go. So Big Zek, my favorite restricted. You'll love to see it. Math Bandit, you missed registration about 25 minutes. You'll literally never lucky. Never lucky. Undefeated, that's right. Undefeated. So EQ. So no max. Hey, that's fine. And that's going to give us a free policy proc. That's one cool thing about this team. A lot of Pokemon just think they can hit the Zekrom. A lot of Pokemon just think they can hit the Zekrom. And there's a Wicked Blow. So good thing I didn't go with the Protect Trick Room. Like, I'd much rather speed this game up by 1 turn. If I won't protect Trick Room, I would have eaten a Wicked Blow, unmaxed, and I wouldn't have got a KO on the Garchomp, which means we would have had to use one of our Trick Room turns to deal with the Garchomp. So we're already playing the game perfectly in this situation. Big Max. Close enough. So there's a Trick Room, right? And so Pika Trainer was talking about how much they like Comfey, right? Talking about how much they like Comfey, huh? Yo, Comfey is about to pop off versus Urshifu, right? About to literally pop off versus Urshifu. So we see the Gardevoir, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Gardevoir, like, base 80 speed. Our Zekrom has 0 investment, so if that Gardevoir is, like, literally any investment, we're gonna underspeed and be fine. So I just gonna go for the Draining Kiss. That would seal up the deal on the Urshifu, and if I max Lightning the Gardevoir at +2, we should be able to get the KO easy peasy, even if Max is on. Don't sleep on Comfey, that's right. And remember, guys, Rising Voltage is normally a 70 base power move, but it's always a 140 base power max move. And then that sets the terrain to make Rising Voltage a 140 base power move if Zekrom uses it after max. So it's a really, really cool way to play it. We see the big Urshifu. Remember, this guy is intimidated because of our max Wormwood on the previous turn. So I really thought they were going to max the Gardevoir. I still think they should have maxed the Gardevoir, but this is fine. So Draining Kiss, look at that big damage. Comfey, Kiss of Death. Look at this literally full heal out here. Big full heal on the Comfey. They Moonblast our Zek, literally never lucky. Not going to get the KO though, we do be taking those. And if they would have maxed the Gardevoir there, I think we still would have been fine, because we just would have sent out Calyrex and been fine. Calyrex would have just rinsed and repeat this game up, but it's okay. So anyways, we do be taking out Gardevoir. You love to see that. And we have our terrain, which means our max lightnings are 140 plus stab plus a 1.3 next turn as well. They go for a steel spike, but remember, like we got the big like damage mitigation from that Wormwood on the first turn. So we're in a great spot. In an absolutely amazing great spot. And it's not too often you see the big max Urshifu. Really not that often you see that guy. So I think their last Mon is Lucario. Yeah, Lucario's right there, and I'm like, okay, cool. Lucario 90 base speed Mon, same as Zekrom. We should underspeed that. We're fine. And I know I can take out that Urshifu with the big Draining Kiss. Yo, we are just going to be out here taking KOs with Comfey. You know how's it going? Special attack doesn't matter about those defense boosts. Yep, and that's the thing. That's the cool thing about Zekrom is everyone thinks, like, you're physical. So they throw Intimidate, they throw Will-O-Wisps, they throw Reflex, they throw Steel Spikes. And it just doesn't do anything to Zekrom because we're special. It's amazing. Power Princess Jess is rating us with a party at 18. Welcome to the channel, friends. They go for a D-Pulse, and they undersped my Zek with their Gardevoir and their Lucario. And it sucks we lost the Zek. But you know what this opens up, right? You know what this really opens up? It just opens up an opportunity for Comfey to get its second KO. I don't even need to use my Restricted. I don't need to send out the Calyrex. I don't need to go for high horsepower. I can just go for Bronzong, go like Draining Kiss, Body Press Draining Kiss, and be fine. But thank you for giving her the shout out. Hopefully you guys are having a good time playing in the tournament so far. But yeah, like nerves have been a really big thing for me lately. When I have to perform under pressure, it's just a lot of pressure. I don't know. I used to have a lot of fun, like being under pressure and seeing if like the ways I could test myself. But I guess like I'm more at the top of the hill than being the underdog at the bottom of it, because if for some reason I did terribly at the IC, everyone would be like, "Dad, so why do you suck?" You know. I wanted you to win. Why'd you gotta suck? You know, what's my record? We're undefeated. Undefeated in the tournament. But, yeah, I can't play games in front of a lot of people anymore with high stakes. I just can't. I'd also be second guessing myself, thinking like, is this person in the stream? Is this person not in the stream? It's just a lot of pressure. But we do be taking those. Comfey got just as many KOs as Zekrom did that game. I'm not streaming my run. No hands. Who said I was streaming it? If I also stop her for 1 minute, I'm undefeated. I played a lot more than one game, though. But we are undefeated. I'm not kidding. So again, yeah, we're just going to go out and check the like rankings every single time just to see it. My boy Too Good. Comfey busted. So 15-16. That's our rating right now. 15-16. 1 game in. You lost 1 game. You could still play more. There's still a lot of games to play. There's a lot of games to be played. So lost? What do you mean? No hands. It's a recording. So we're playing against another guy. You can see this guy's team. Again, no restricted. That does happen. I think this is the last person I fight that has no restricted. Again, we only really need a Trick Room if they go with any of the faster Mons like Zard, Inteleon, Sceptile, even Raichu. One cool thing about Zekrom is it has Terravolt, so it can just pop that Raichu in the mouth. Even if they have Lightning Rod, Terravolt hits through its ability. It just does massive damage, so it's so good. Yeah, we have, what is it? We have live commentary of recorded footage, yeah. I mean, what do you guys think? How many wins do you guys think I got? You gotta play 3 battles to get the bird, and I played more than 3. Yeah, Terravolt's what makes Zekrom good. Like, Rotom, everyone's like, they could just use Rotom Heat, and it's like, I could Earth Power that. I could big Earth Power. You don't need to get 5 wins. Oh, everyone's guessing. We'll see. I asked yesterday if you were going to do this just like you did for the Players' Cup online. Yeah, I lied to you because I didn't want people to know I was doing this because I didn't want people to snipe me. I wanted to dissuade people from playing me in the first place. So yeah, we see Zard and Inteleon, and I'm thinking to myself, is this Pledge? Like, is this Rainbow Pledge? And I was just like, I'm just going to hit the Zard. You know, I'm just coming fresh off of a game of getting Dragon Pulsed by a Lucario. So I'm like, this is fine. And, you know, they're maxing first, which means they're maxing something. When is it over? I could have swore it was next week. You have up until Sunday to play your games, and you can play up to 15 games per day with them rolling over. That's the only way to get the shiny Articuno. Yep. Only way to get it. The next 2 International Challenge League of Moltres and Zapdos. So, here we go. Big max. And you max your Zek like almost turn 1 like every single game. Like, holy moly. But Big Zek coming in hot here. And I think Zek is just a great matchup versus like almost every Pokemon in the game. Like realistically, it has such a good matchup versus like everything. And the fact that like Comfey covers up for its you know, weaknesses to, you know, fairies and stuff like that, and other dragons, Comfey covers up very well. Bronzong covers it up even better. It's so good. I guess at least if I had to miss one, it's for the bird that hasn't been viable in 15 years. I think Galarian Articuno is good. I like Galarian Articuno. It gets competitive. That's like, it actually gets like the best ability out of the 3. It just has the worst typing of the 3. So anyways, we pop in the big max lightning. It's time to pop off. Let's go. Yeet, delete, repeat. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's Galarian versions. So we take the big Zard. And let's go. I've not properly played since X and Y's Dynamax, probably the biggest change. Yes, it is. And like, it's dumb. It's dumb. So we gotta trick him up and we kill the Zard. You guys can kind of tell where this game's gonna go. You can kind of tell where this game's gonna go, but we do make some cool plays here. This is still a really good example to show like correct play in this situation. Because at this point, there's no reason for the Comfey to be on the board. Like at all, even a little bit. What we need to do is take out the Pokemon that stop us from sweeping with Calyrex and take this free turn to switch in the Calyrex to make sure our last 3 turns of Trick Room have like enough offensive pressure. So even if they go for Protect, even if they do whatever, we're going to switch in our Calyrex, and we're also going to be Max Quake and give Calyrex a Spadef boost. So then Calyrex can just go Lance the last 2 turns of Trick Room and win the game. Yeah, you have to play 3 games to get the shiny bird. But yeah, we do be taking these. Easy peasy. Big Quake. We're a +2. This isn't even a full special attack Zek. Everyone's just gonna lose their shit at like how much damage this Zek does over the course of this tournament. And we're not even max special attack. Like, you don't need max special attack. That's just how nuts this Pokemon is, I think. It has a 120 base special attack. It's nice. We also get to show off our White Herb. I think one really cool thing about this team that you know, I'm gonna talk about a lot more on Patreon. But the way this team is built, right? It's a lot more intricate than it looks, especially playing these first couple games. There's a lot of very niche defensive options. Like there's a White Herb on the Calyrex to deal with the Incin matchups. There's a Mental Herb on the Bronzong to deal with like Taunt, Tornadoes, and Whimsicott. There's a Focus Sash on the Comfey to make it so things like Zacian and like Solgaleos and what is that? Duskmane can't just tear us apart. So there's a bunch of really cool defensive options that this team has that I really like about it. Even though we're pretty much all in on Zekrom, you know, the rest of the team has... The support Pokemon have a lot of defensive options to help them support the Zekrom and stick around the board just a little bit longer. And also, remember, we KO'd the Inteleon, switched in the Calyrex, and then they had to send out their Tyrantrum because, of course, they'd bring Tyrantrum to this matchup. So we anticipated the Tyrantrum coming in. Tyrantrum would underspeed Zek. We wanted the Calyrex in early. Good play. Good play against a team that was not amazing. Now we can start the real games, right? Now we can start the real games. Showing you guys how to play against actual restricted teams. Hopefully, right? Definitely, maybe. And we're just going to go back to it. So I think we're like 25th or 50th or something like that. 25th. 25th in the whole world. Holy moly. All right. And I think this guy has a Sun team. Which is, if I had to choose a matchup, I think it's Sun. It's probably Sun. Sun's my worst matchup. I think he had Sun. Thanks for always having the info and all the sweet tech. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. So here we go. Pokeball VGC, welcome. All right, 15-31. So we're both undefeated at this point. Sun team with Cali, with Glastrier, just the raw Glastrier. How many people entered? Like thousands, bro. Like so many people. But yeah, hard matchup. Tons of AoE. Groudon, like they have every advantage here. They have every advantage. This team's made to win. They have Feenies that stop our dragon attacks from working. Like, they have so many things. The double horse rodeo is strong right here. You can see me thinking, I'm like, I shouldn't deviate from Comfey Zek. I've tested against Sun a lot. I still think I win, but that's because I'm a professional Pokemon player. That's +1. I can figure out some ways to get out of this. And I know they're going to win the Glastrier. It just depends on when they bring it out, right? If they're bringing it out exactly when if they anticipate my Trick Room and switch it in, it's a big problem, right? But if I get a KO and then it comes in, I can kind of deal with it. And what I try to go for this game is I play the first couple turns, I realize my opponent's good, and I'm going to try and catch them switching in the Glastrier so I can have it switch in on a Wormwind. And that's kind of what we're going to have to do to win this game. So, this is going to be a great game, by the way. This is going to be probably the best game you've ever seen on this channel. I swear. You know, get your popcorn, get your notebook, get your screenshots ready. This is going to be the best game that we've played in a hot minute, right? Here we go. More than one person get the shiny Pokemon. Yeah, every person that enters gets the shiny Articuno if you play more than three games at least. So, Cali Groudon. They want that big AoE damage. And you know what I'm really thinking here? I'm thinking to myself, there's like 5 different things that can happen here, right? There's like 5 different things that can happen here. I'm realistically thinking that this is going to be Imprisoned Trick Room. I'm thinking to myself, this is Imprisoned Trick Room Cali, and that's why they led with it. They want to go big into this Zek, and it's going to be Imprisoned Trick Room Cali. So I'm thinking to myself, fuck, you know? But I realistically think, like, I also don't want to just lose the Comfey if they go Astral and P-Blades, right? Astral, P-Blades would KO the Comfey, and if I lose the Comfey, I can't have the Zek on the board long enough to make it outvalue the Groudon. Even if I start slamming in Wormwinds to Mons, I need to be able to consistently foil healing. And I also need to save the Comfey to set the Trick Room a little bit later in the game. So I'm going to play the game a little bit differently here. Just watch what we do, right? So I decided to just protect the Comfey because I don't want to eat the Astral and I don't want to eat the P-Blades into the Comfey slot. And so I'm hoping, right, the plan here is your Groudon will go for the Precipice Blades and you will Astral, right? This will clock my weakness policy with the P-Blades. I'm hoping that I'm just kind of slower than the Groudon a little bit, maybe, because Zek actually can eat the P-Blades and the Astral, or we're built to live through both those, unless it's like a Banded Groudon or something. So we're completely fine. And then we're going to clock the Calyrex Sash with a Wormwind, which will weaken the Groudon, and then turn 2 will go Protect, Draining Kiss, Soak Damage with Comfey. Turn 3, Foil Healing, finish off the Groudon with a +2. So we've already planned all of that out just from this first turn before any moves have even happened. We're thinking all of the Dynamax turns will be off the table by the end of what I've planned, right? Hopefully that made sense even a little bit. If it didn't make sense, you're about to see what happens. So they're maxing. They've already deviated from the plan in a way that I don't like. And note that their Groudon is faster than my Zek. That's weird, right? I mean, they both are base 90, but like, Zek actually has speed investment. It's like 12 points in speed, and it has it's a weird Zek set. So it's made to like barely outspeed these guys normally, right? So that means he actually has some speed investment. This is so lame. What do you mean? This isn't lame. This is awesome. This is perfect. The other day you called out the play on Porygon Ally Switch turn 1 was pretty spicy. That was the best play I've ever played. This is even better. So just watch what happens here. You're going to see them go for... Sorry, we go for the Protect. Big brain, okay. Anyways, we go for the Protect. We don't want to just lose the Comfey, right? And then we see this. Speed Swap. And I'm like, okay. Spellbait, how's it going? We see... And then a Rock Fall. And I'm like, I have no clue what that Rock Fall was. I really think what happened... I think they thought I was going to switch in my Cali. for some reason, or maybe go for like an ally switch. I have no idea what that's about, the Rockfall. Again, but this person's also undefeated, right? All right, but anyways, they Rockfall my Zek, they ignored my Comfey, and they speed swap. So they have a fast AF Groudon, but that also means that their Calyrex isn't as fast as they think it is. And I actually think they probably weren't paying attention, because they might still realize that their Calyrex, even if they speed swap that Groudon, they can actually even tell from like the way damage is dealt at the end of the turn, that Calyrex is still faster than Zek, but they don't really know that it is. So this is the turn that we need to set our Trick Room up, right? So we weakened the Groudon, right? Groudon is now weak. Calyrex is taken out. They were going for a huge read. They were going for a huge read. They were trying to go for the happy birthday game ender. But this is the turn that we need to deal with the Groudon, get up our Trick Room, and if they're good, they're going to switch out that Calyrex for the Glastrier and get ready to like have Trick Room, right? They should be able to analyze that right here, while also like thinking about going after the Zek. So that's what we think is going to happen here. So in this situation, do we foil healing? No, we totally Trick Room. Yeah, we Trick Room. I'm like, don't go back me. And then we just pop the Wormwind right in the Groudon's mouth. We don't want to go for the Calyrex slot, even though we know it's switching, because there's a high chance Feeny switches in too, and we don't want to waste our Wormwind turns. We need to just stick this into the Groudon to make it weak as possible. We need that Groudon to be the wettest noodle the world's ever seen. So we know the Calyrex is switching, right? There's the Glastrier, so they're making the good play. Again, undefeated player making the right play. And they go for the Quake. They do outspeed. They're going to proc our policy. These games are games from the International Challenge that's happening right now. And remember, we got a -1 on them from the last Wormwind last turn. So they're not going to be able to do that much, and they're going to proc our policy. So they get a Spit F boost too. That's great for them, but it's not going to matter. Watch this. Watch a sick play. And it's good, though, that they switch in the Glastrier. It's really good for us, though, that we used Wormwind again. So secondary Wormwind, big Wormwind energy. Look at that damage of that Groudon. Holy moly. Holy moly, yo. It does be happening. So Groudon's at like 1, right? But they do have... yeah, no, the tournament starts right now. They do have a Citrus Berry, so they're not dead yet. So I can't just go for a Draining Kiss to KO it. But we have an Intimidate from a double Intimidate on the Groudon from Wormwind, and we have a singular Intimidate from the Wormwind on the Glastrier with a Trick Room up. And we still have one more turn of Max. So I actually think, even though they have a Glastrier on the board, it is okay for us. Yeah, we do be taking those crits. Don't think I didn't play into that happening. Like, I wanted to do damage to that Groudon. I did damage to the Groudon. That's a win up, in my opinion. The cool thing is, though, we got the crit. Normally, he'd be at about, like, right here. He'd be at about, like, 60%. It doesn't really matter because we just basically needed to get the Groudon within range for Calyrex to KO. That's all we needed. So it's not like that crit really mattered, especially if he didn't have Citrus Berry, we'd be able to Draining Kiss KO it. But the fact that he did have Citrus Berry means he might as well be up here. The crit doesn't really matter. Anyways, Trick Room's now up though, right? So we're in a great spot. Trick Room's up. We're in a great spot. And so I'm just thinking here, I think we go for the Wormwind into the Glastrier just to soften that thing up because we're trying to set up a game board where Glastrier, sorry, not our Glastrier, our Calyrex wins the game at the end, right? So foil healing into the Zek, so you have a -2 Groudon and a -1 Glastrier. Big heal, look at this big heal. Icicle Crash, you're weak. How you doing? Yo, I'm undefeated right now. Wormwind +2 into what I'm thinking is a vested Glastrier. It's a vested Glastrier with a +1 from the Max Quake last turn. So it's big, bulky. Third attack drop on the Groudon. Goes for the last Quake. Look how weak you are. Look how weak you are. You can go for that into the Comfey. Comfey don't care. Comfey thick too. So we're still in a great spot. All max turns are done. Did this go exactly like how I wanted to? No, it didn't. You know, I planned a very different board state. But, you know, I did plan on the Glastrier coming in. I did plan on getting just a little bit more out of it. I planned on at least KOing one of these mons. Personally, I did. But I'll settle for a -2 Glastrier and a -3 Groudon. We used all of our Wormwinds correctly, and this kind of confirms for me that they don't have Feeny, right? They have these two plus the Glastrier, and then, like, I'm thinking it's Zard. But we'll see. Yeah, the tournament starts. You can go play right now. It says 18th, but it's 18th at, like, a different part of the world, right? Because JP players are playing in it right now. So anyways, we're looking at what I want to do here. You can kind of see what we're going for. We can just ignore the Groudon. So we just go for a foil healing. We can just chill here. Look at this. Look at this big chilling. Look at this wet noodle Groudon. The biggest wet noodle Groudon the world has ever seen. Icicle Crash, we do be taking these. Look at this. Look how much this doesn't do. Zekrom just eating. Just eating. Remember when Ice Horse was the most busted Pokemon in the world? Not in my house, it's not. We take that. So Glacier goes down. We got to eat another P-Blades. You know they're going to get the double hit. And we're staying alive, as the Bee Gees would say. We're big staying alive right now. Staying alive. Yeah. So we're good here, right? This is an okay situation. We're not out of the woods yet. We're running low on Trick Room turns. And they have like the ability to have like Calyrex in the back. So that Calyrex can just come out, rinse and repeat these guys. Our mons in the back are Calyrex, Ice, and Bronzong. Not the best mons to be dealing with the Calyrex. So we see the Calyrex come right out here. So it's not great, right? So Calyrex comes out here. And we basically need to just respect Calyrex. And you know what? In my head, I'm thinking like, you 1000% have to have Ally Switch, right? You have to have Ally Switch. We go for the Earth Power here. I think this is a crazy play. I'm going for the Earth Power here in case they Ally Switch, right? I do not want them to Ally Switch P-Blades me, right? I'm thinking you have to, like, there's the Protect. We see the Protect. We saw Speed Swap, right? I know you got Ally Switch on that thing, man. I know you got it. At this point, I know you got that Ally Switch. So I'm going to respect. I can't just throw it. I cannot throw a realistic option. I cannot throw a Rising Voltage into that Calyrex spot. Because if you Ally Switch on the Groudon, we lose. And I'm not going to throw the Draco either because I need the Zekrom to carry for Shermans in the back. So we lose the Comfey there. Zekrom's big sad. His Comfey buddy's down. But we get to bring out a good Pokemon here. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a cool Pokemon. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. Maybe you've heard of it. It's Mapaway. And I still think you got that move. I still think you got the big Ally Switch. And so this is where you might think that I make a mistake. I want to talk about this. Chat, tell me what you do in this situation. What do you do in this situation? Do you remember what the team preview was? What do you think? What do you think we do? This is the last turn of Trick Room, by the way. This is going to be the last turn of Trick Room. Callie's Protect is on cooldown. Their Calyrex's Protect is on cooldown. This is the last turn of Trick Room. What would you do if you were me? You know, you may think that this is just easy peasy. Rinse and repeat. I would hate if they get a double. They could get a double. How would you play around a double? Would you just go, like, what would you do? Well, here's what's going on through my head, right? Calyrex and Zekrom. And we know for a fact that last mon is not Tapu Fini. It's not. They would have sent it out earlier. We can confirm that it's not Tapu Fini. That means that the last mon has to be Charizard, right? It has to be Charizard. So, and also, I used Earth Power last turn. Now, I still don't want to lose the Ally Switch, right? I don't want to lose to that. We're gonna click the Lance. We're clicking the Lance. That covers the Ally Switch, right? Your opponent misclicked and they side thunder their Kyogre and got the Parallel out. That's funny. We're gonna click the Lance, but I do still want to just hit the Calyrex slot. And there's something to note here. I do not want to KO a Charizard. I only want to KO Calyrex. If I KO the Charizard, you bring back out your Calyrex and you kill my Calyrex with your Calyrex. But there's only one move that a Charizard has that can kill a Calyrex, and that's Blast Burn. And if you Blast Burn me, I get to bring up my Bronzong, and I get a free Trick Room. I've thought about 4 turns ahead right here. 64 months, yo, thank you so much. There's only one move Zard has that can one-shot this Calyrex spread. Sorry, yeah, my Calyrex, and that's Blast Burn off like a Life Orb. But their Calyrex can definitely kill me. I don't want to mess with that at all. So, we're playing to not KO Zard. If you switch out the Calyrex for Zard, I do not want to kill that thing, so we're going to be Earth Powering the same slot. We are Earth Powering the same slot. We're going to click the EP again. And if you want to switch out your Calyrex for Zard, be my guest. Remember, your Groudon's at -3. I don't give a shit about the Groudon. But I cannot have your Calyrex just throw an Astral Barrage crits into my Calyrex. I need you to use a move that has a recharge and then ignore your Groudon. So you do switch out the Zard, right? He does switch out he switches out for the Charizard. Now this is fine. This is absolutely fine. Like, if Groudon goes for Protect, I wish the Groudon died, to be honest. Like, let's be realistic. It'd be cool if it died. But no, it's good. It's good for us that it didn't. Just because this board can KO my Calyrex, but it can't kill my Bronzong, right? So, Glacial Lance does not KO Charizard on purpose. I mean, we're just not EV trained to do that. So, you can see it. Dimensions turn back to normal. Let's read this comment. I just recently got to VGC 22. Your videos really helped me better understand how and where to get started, so I really want to thank you. Is there any advice I should take to heart when getting into VGC? I would say just have fun. Like, don't sweat the losses. If you can do your best to internalize why you lost and try your best to not lose that way in the future, you're doing a good job. What made you want to use Calyrex? I wanted to win. So, we see Zard and Groudon. So Groudon is weak. He will do nothing. And we're going to protect with Zek, and we're going to try and set Trick Room. Now, if you don't have Blast Burn, and it doesn't, and you're not orbed, I'll just live it and set Trick Room and win. But if you do Blast Burn me, we're gonna have to double protect with our Zek. So we go for the Trick Room, we go for the Protect. We have to protect, right? We can't just be eating those. I'm thinking about it. You see me thinking about it. I'm like, no. I have to protect. I have to do this. I'm like thinking to myself, the only way our Calyrex spread is full HP with actually heavier specialty. You need to have like Blast Burn plus a damage multiplier. So we go Protect. They go with the P-Blades. Look how weak this is. Remember, he still has the speed swap boost from that Calyrex early on in the game. That's weak. You say I could have done with a better answer? There's the Blast Burn. No, that's the answer. I wanted to win. Fine, I'll give you a more detailed answer since you feel so, entitled to one. Calyrex has different weaknesses than Zekrom and vice versa. So things that Zekrom's weak against are ground types. You know what's good against ground types? Ice types. Oh my gosh, that's the reason why. Blast Burn! Here we go. Of course, it's crit, and of course, it's, I think they're Life Orb too, right? Yeah, so Life Orb's completely fine as well. Alright, so Zard, he has to recharge now to go with my boy Bronzong. And so now we're setting up a situation here, right? Like, we're setting up a situation here where we have to either dodge a P-Blades or get a double Protect, right? So, go for the Trick Room, and this is a free Trick Room. That Zard has to recharge. Heat Wave wouldn't have done it. And we gotta go for the double. Survey says we get it. We do be getting the double. We do be getting the double. We do be getting the double. They go for the P-Blades. That doesn't work for his Bronzong. We do be getting doubles out here. Nice recharge, bro. Trick Room. Now this game isn't even over. It's not even over. You may think, well, now I just win. I don't win yet. I'm thinking like, crap, if you go for like, if you get a double at this point on any of these Pokemon, I will lose. So, and we also, I'm thinking like, do I body press the Groudon? Or what do I do in this situation? Because body press will kill the Zard. But body press, if they read my body press from the Zard and switch in the Cali and they double protect with the Groudon, I basically lose to Calyrex single targeting my Bronzong leader. So it's still anyone's game. I do have to Earth Power the Groudon. I do have to be Earth Power in the Groudon. And we have to go for the body press on the Zard. You may be thinking like next turn I could mix it up and go for like catching the Calyrex on the switch in. I'm fine with what we do here. So they go for the Protect with the Zard. So they do have Protect, but they're also orbed. So I'm thinking there also are slight situations where I can just like let the I can just let the Zard KO itself from Life Orb. Also, one thing to note, if I lose my Zekrom, I cannot hit the Calyrex, guys. I can hit it with a Bulldoze for like 2%. So I need to do everything in my power to not ever let this Zekrom take another small chip of damage. Zacian gets checked by Zekrom, like hard. That's why Zacian doesn't even have a shot to play against Zek. And so they go for the double protects there. And so I'm thinking like, I still think I gotta keep him honest. You know, if you want to switch in the Cali and you get a double protect in the ground, it's gonna be hard. So they do switch out the Zard for the Cali. Like, we're still playing Pokemon here. They're dodging the body press left and right. I actually don't even know if the body press would KO the Groudon either, which is why I still kept with what I was doing here. And they get no double, so Groudon's going down. Body press is wasted. And you could say that's why didn't you body press on the Groudon and then go for the Rising Voltage? And the reason we didn't do that is if that Groudon hit the double protect, we wouldn't have got any KOs that turn. with anything. So we need to do, and the Charizard could have just hit us with a Heat Wave and we would have lost the game or something. So we had to just let them switch the Calyrex in for free. And then what we have to do here is we have to hope to Jesus that this Calyrex does not get a double protect weight at my Trick Room. Remember that this is the second Trick Room of the game? It's ridiculous. And I'm still thinking we can go for the Body Press on the Zard. We can go for the Rising Voltage. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Alice Switch won't save you here. Is it Draco time? We don't need Draco. We do not need... We have a +2. We don't need it. So protect Zard, protect Cali, obviously, right? And this is... Next turn is the last Trick Room turn. It's about to get dicey. It's about to get dicey here, guys. Remember, if you kill my Zek, I can't hit the Cali. I can't hit it. So... I'm hoping that you don't get a double. I got one. But, here we go. This game's been going on for like 20 minutes. And we double into the Zard this time. And the reason we're doing this is because I wanted to. I just felt that this was fine. If you were going to get a double on something, we're going to get a double. Didn't really matter. Like, he had to go for the double anyway, so I'd rather just go into the Zard and have it be fine. So, because that would also play around Ally Switch just a little bit too. So... They didn't take off Protect in a row in BDSP. You can still get doubles. And anyways, that's the end of the Trick Room, right? The Trick Room's over. He waited out my second Trick Room. And I'm thinking to myself, I only got one out. We got to go Trick Room again and Protect. Let's go. Survey says Astral. Does it KO our Bronzong? What do you guys think? Nah. We thick. Heavy HP Spadef Bronzong! We do be taking this. No, he got 2 protects in a row. He got 2. He got a double, I got a double. And then we set up our trick and we win. We won! He too thick. Bronzong too thick. Bronzong busted. 172 Spadef with nature. Full HP. Bronzong big thick. I'm just lucky we didn't get crit. We just bypass there because we don't want to reveal any extra info. And we take the Rising Voltage and we won! We won. We won the game versus our worst matchup. Undefeated against another player who is also undefeated. We take those. All the way to the bank, yo. All the way to the bank. But yeah, Kali Ice, like, you can say there's better pokes than Ice Horse if you can play it out. That's not what this team does, though. This team needs Trick Room setters. So there's not better Trick Room setters that complement Zekrom. There's not. You say wasn't? Yeah, he was undefeated. I was surprised to see Bronzong's use in competitive play. Bronzong's really good. It's just dumpsters like Zacian and stuff like that too. I took a break here. I stood up and like walked away for a minute. So we're searching for another game. Here we go. How do you know he's undefeated? Because we played him. We played him when we were undefeated, and he had the exact same record as we did. So we played him within the first 12 minutes of the tournament being up, and he had the exact same rating as me, who was undefeated. So that's how I know he was undefeated. Oh, we gotta go back. All right. But so thank you for the follow. Appreciate it, friend. Hopefully you're having a good time. Good early weekend almost, right? Here we go. This guy's 1470. Ooh, I didn't choose. See, I don't want to fight people in the 1470s. And I'm like, Excadrill shouldn't exist. That's a Pokemon that shouldn't just exist in this format. They do have a Zacian. We do gotta respect it. No hard feelings. No, I'm not mad. Yeah, I think that you just gotta not let yourself get hit with the Zacian. You gotta do your best to redirect and use other things to... You gotta set TR with other Pokemon, right? You can't just have Calyrex do all the work. You have to have good teammates to make it work. And also, you say, like, Intimidate's our problem. Like, that's why we're running a Wide Herb on our Calyrex. It's really good. Yeah, he only has one restricted, but, like, to be honest, Excadrill used to be an Uber. So, Excadrill's about as good as a restricted, in my opinion. So, this is a funny game. This is a funny game. Remember, we're still on day 1 of the tournament. So, like, you fight these weird teams. And remember, this guy's 1470. So, you can... I'm not trying to say disrespect your opponents, but I'm like, this guy's... He's missing a few marbles. He has to be. There's something that this team is missing, other than a second restricted. And we're about to find out what it is. Chat, place your bets. What do you think he what do you think he doesn't have? I'm thinking to myself, like, there's like 6 different things I can do. I'm just going to Trick Room. And if you happen... This is what I'm thinking. If I'm going for, like, the Trick Room Lightning into the Zard, and if you KO my Comfey with, like, a Wildfire, Airstream, or, like a Big Max Quake or Steel Spike or something, I can just bring in the Bronzong, and I can just win. Right? That's my thought. Would Melodic still be viable? I don't think so. I don't think Melodic's viable at all. I think Gastron's a lot better. How many of your day 1 games you played? A few. You say no items? No, it's not. He doesn't have G-Max. He probably just forgot to soup it. It might not have candies. I don't know. It's about to die, so that's fine. You know, back in the day, for the very first regional for 2020, you weren't allowed to use G-Max Solar Power Zard because it was unreleased. And there was no, like, ability thing yet. You had to either use G-Max from the 1 G-Max that was given you at the end of the game, like bottle cap it, or you had to use, like, a solar power one. So we actually saw a lot of people at Dallas Regionals using, like, this Zard. But we go for, we let him policy proc us with an Earthquake. Obviously, the Earthquake was going to happen here. We knew the Zard was going to be maxing. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know who you're hitting. You can go after my Comfey, that's fine. Easy peasy. So, and they crit us now. Fast extra. Unless the extra is faster than the Zard, so it's probably like a jolly extra modest Zard. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. And I'll trade maxes with you. I'll trade maxes. But yeah, that extra is a little bit of an issue. And I'm thinking, like, maybe the extra drill is, like, scarfed. I can't really tell. Could be. Yeah, Comfey takes the L this time. But it traded for a Charizard, like a max Charizard. Like, we do be taking those. Thank you for no dots. Yo, row your boat. 2 months on the Prime. Appreciate it, friend. Appreciate it. So Zard goes down. Comfey goes down. And we come in with a Bronzong. Easy peasy. Easiest Bronzong of my life. What is X-Hero gonna do to my boy? To my boy! Now look at this play. They send out the Incin, which was the 1 Pokemon. I was like, I don't want to fight Incin. They can fake out my Bronzong and make this a lot harder than it has to be. And I'm thinking to myself, like, there's one rule with this team. The numero uno rule. Don't set Trick Room until you see the Incineroar. Like, I tried to get the Trick Room up so we can underspeed the Excadrill, but you normally don't want to set Trick Room if they lead Incineroar and until you KO the Incineroar, because then Incineroar can parting shot you, make you weaker, and then get out of dodge and then come back in and be an issue. So we're going to try and Trick Room. If you're going to fake out me, that's fine. I bet you're actually going to go for the Flare Blitz. And I'm like, if you have to Earthquake your Incin, that's funny, but you're probably going to high horsepower, which it does. So high horsepower doesn't do that much damage. We come in hot with the big Quake. Going right into that Incin slot. You know we go into that Incin slot. Incin goes down for the count. Yeah, Bronzong's good. And Incin goes down. And we get up the Trick Room. Trick Room. We do be taking these Trick Rooms all the way to the bank. All the way to the bank. You know we love to see that here. It's nice, right? Isn't it pretty nice? And what is the last mon survey says? Urshifu. We didn't even bring the Zacian. And that's fine. It's if anything, like, Urshifu water is, like, almost better. Trick Room in the Trick House. Yeah, that's right. So we're in a good spot here. I think we just double into the Excadrill because I don't know if it's sashed. And I'm thinking to myself, I was thinking about Max Lightning and the Urshifu because we have a better matchup versus Excadrill with Trick Room up with Cali. But I'm like, you know what? We can just get the dang Excadrill off the board. I was also thinking about bulldozing just to break Sash on both of them. But I didn't want to, like, I didn't need to, so it's fine. We're in a good spot. Even if you protect with Excadrill this turn, it'd Max Quake to go through your Sash and would be good. And then we just come in with Calyrex and win the game. What's your record? Undefeated. So Zekrom goes hot into the Excadrill slot. And Urshifu could do whatever it wants, but, like, we got the right stuff in the back. Big Zekrom. The biggest. And I think they have to close combat me. Yeah. No big deal. You're weak. You're weak, Urshifu. Dummy thick Zekrom live forever. How undefeated are you? I'm so undefeated. I've been streaming for over an hour and I haven't lost a single game. And so we just go for the ally switch because we don't want to die to Aqua Jet. Aqua Jet crit. I always think the Trick Room is such an interesting gimmick. It's not a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. Trick Room's not a gimmick. It's like something to respect. It's not... A gimmick is something that only works once. I Trick Room like 3 times in the game before. It's just like a part of speed control. You just have to respect it. So let's see. How to match with Gastrodon versus Water Urshi and using Surging Strikes, but only boosted once. What do you mean boosted once? What do you mean boosted once? Oh, versus Gastrodon? For like Storm Drain? That's just how that works. Just because it's a multi-hit move doesn't mean that it hits. It doesn't. Urshifu does not attack 3 times. It doesn't go into 3 different attack animations. It goes into 1 attack animation. It makes sense though. Yeah, you don't take damage. Yeah, you block the 1. Mox is running Tickle Mr. Mime. Mr. Rhyme. Yeah, that's a little bit gimmick. Trick Room was legit. There's a reason it won so many worlds. It's won a few. All right. So what's this next game? I think this guy's a really good team as well. A good matchup versus me, I would say. Moxie's been doing a good job making content lately too. Toy 1546. So about my rating, I have a little bit higher rating, and we can see. So Duskmane Ho-Oh, and I'm like, oh hell no. And I'm like, oh, there's double fairies and there's a Gastrodon, and I'm like, ah, oh, man. That's a weird looking team, right? Isn't that a weird looking team? We have to still go. We go with the same 4. We go with the same 4 in every single game. There's no reason to deviate. Like, I've put in a couple hundred games testing these 4 in this order. I've tested a few games with the Torkoal, a few games with Venusaur. I just think that Comfey Zek can handle every situation. I really think he can handle every situation. And we're also going to make some balls deep amazing. You know, we played one really good game earlier, right? You're not going to believe what we do this game. Holy moly. You're not even going to believe it. You're not going to believe how this one happens. It's ridiculous. The problem with this is, the way you would normally beat Duskmane is by Wormwinding, right? Wormwinding its teammates, picking up KOs, and just making their Duskmane into a wet noodle. Similar to what we did to that Groudon. Problem is, this guy has double fairy types, so I can't just spam Wormwind on its teammates. And actually, I just can't spam Wormwind because you could always switch in one. So, and I don't just want to Wormwind into a Duskmane because, like, I'll do like 10%, you know, it's not worth it. So this is an uphill battle, and also if we lose our Zekrom, we cannot break the Ho-Oh. So it's a really hard matchup, but we do have a saving grace. Because they're playing both Duskmane and Ho-Oh, they have very, very, very limited offensive potential if they're not using Venusaur, which means if we don't just lose our Comfey, we can just foil healing like 4 times and win the game, late game. Also, this means that if we lead Comfey, Comfey's going to have the shiniest red X marks the spot on it. Right? Shiniest red X marks the spot. Say, hey, you got to hit me, I'm Comfey. If I get any 4 healings off, I'll win. So we can use that to our advantage. We can tunnel them. It's like a beacon. It's like Comfey has follow me on it right now. Aren't you worried about sharing all this info? No, I'm not, because I'm done. So I played all my games. I don't need to play anymore. So, like I said, Comfey is going to have to switch because it has a shining dot on it that says, hey, you know what you should do? You should totally hit me with a Steel Spike. That's why we have Bronzong to cover both for those switches. Also, Bronzong's just really good against Duskmane. Really, really good defensive typing. Let's read Pikachu in his comment. That's you love the set I played against Diamond's team. I went for the raw fly to avoid Yveltal's Sucker Punch the next turn and force them to call the 50-50 where it was going because of the way I did it. You can see where they fly. You can see what gets targeted with fly, can't you? When you fly? Oh, is it in Showdown? That's why Showdown sucks. If it's in Cart, you can see what Mon gets targeted when they fly. But, oh well. Anyways, yeah, Bronzong is perfect on this team because it covers up for all of Zekrom's weaknesses, all of Comfey's weaknesses, and most of Caloric's weaknesses, other than Ghost and Fire. So we know we're switching to the Bronzong. Not when there's only one Mon. Oh, okay. Then that's cool. That's sick. I like that a lot. All right. And we're just going to go for... This is a weird play here. Like, what would you do? I'm thinking to myself, I need to get the Mimikyu off the board, even if it takes 2 turns. I was thinking about Max Lightning and the Duskmane. It's not worth it. I think I just Max Lightning the Mimikyu here because we don't need to play around Disguise. We have Terravolt, which means we just ignore Disguise. And I'm thinking I want to get Mimikyu right out of Citrus range to where, like, I get my Steroid, my plus 1.3, so then I can KO it next turn. So it's going to take 2 of my max turns, but we will get the Mimikyu off, hopefully, and then maybe open up a board state where we can pick up 1 more KO, force them around with the Ho-Oh, try and be a bully. Like, we're just trying our best not to die right now and waste their max turns on their Zek. We're trying to get them to use Steel Spikes. We're doing our very best to make them use Steel Spike, Steel Spike, Steel Spike. And if for some reason, if they're faster than us or something and want to go for like a max Quake into our Zek and proc our policy, we'll take those. So there, we can see that we're faster than them, which means they're going to be going for Trick Room, which means this is fine. The plan here in switching in Bronzong was twofold. I switch in Bronzong to stop the Steel Spike. I soak damage. That's great. Also, next turn, we have Levitate. If you want to go for the only Pokemon you can really hit with the Dustmane, which is a Zekrom, I'm going to Ally Switch and make you waste your Max Quake. And if you can't get your Max Quakes, you can't block my Rising Voltages late game. So it's going to be a really, really good play. And I also have to respect the ability that Mimikyu can go for like Shadow Sneaks. But there's not that much I can do about it other than try and waste the max turns on this guy. So I'm doing my best. I'm doing my absolute best here. So you're going to see what we do. Survey says Steel Spike. So far, 3-1. Yo, good luck. So we eat the Steel Spike. That's still a lot of damage. That tells me he's a very aggressive Duskmane. Which means I'd really like to just stick some Wormwinds in here. They did a lot to my Bronzong, surprisingly. And he's probably thinking he's in a good spot. He's like, yo, we got that defense boost and Trick Room. We're going to win. And I'm like, not yet. Not in my house. So yeah, we'll KO the Mimikyu here. And yeah, we just go for the Ally Switch and the Max Lightning. Pick up the Mimikyu. And I'm thinking like this might be a time when Ho-Oh comes in. They might want to wait until after the Max moves are done, which means they're not going to bring in Venusaur. They might bring in the Grim, and that'd be the worst case scenario to see Grim, because then I can't go for the Max Wormwind. So we just go for the Ally Switch, and I'm assuming it's Max. I'm assuming it's Max Quake. I really am just assuming it's Max Quake. Also, this lets us avoid the Mimikyu if they wanted to go for like a Flare Up or something into that. But they go for another Steel Spike, and they were targeting Zek. So Bronzong has to eat another attack, which I actually wasn't planning on happening, but it's okay. And then I think we underspeed the Mimikyu here, which is super cool. Because I didn't want to get like cursed or, you know, anything. Really, I wanted the Mimikyu just gone. Mimikyu's such a problem. Like, I'm like, cool, he didn't get to Policy Proc, which means the only mon he has left that can Policy Proc is Grim. Which means if he has Grim, it's going to come out right now. He's going to go for a Screen and a Policy Proc. It has to happen that way. That's your only out. There's the Grim. This is such a good play to go Grim here. You block the Wormwind, you can get a free Screen up, and then you can Policy Proc and just one-shot my mon super easily. It's a really, really good play here. So we're just sitting here thinking, like, I gotta get this Grimmstomp off the board. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, Grimmstomp has to go away. I gotta hit it as hard as I can with everything I can. And I can't Bulldoze here because I don't want to proc the Policy on him myself. I need to just get the Grim off the board before I can proc the Policy. And so force them to get the Ho-Oh, one-shot the Ho-Oh, and then, like, maybe do something against this crazy fed-ass Dustmane. So they get the Reflect up. Remember, they're respecting physical Zekrom, which, like, why would you ever? We go for the Body Press. Not doing a ton. I wish that did a little bit more. And there's the third Steel Spike. Goodbye, Bronzong. I loved you a long time, but it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. Now, there's a weird situation that's going to happen at the end of this turn. I want to know if you guys can see this coming. I've already given you guys every little hint of everything that could happen, but let's see if you guys can scout it. So we go for the Max Lightning. It doesn't KO. He's at like, 2%. I could send out the Comfey. I could do that. I could send out this Comfey. By the way, our max turns are over. And there is one turn left on Trick Room. There's one turn left on Trick Room. The Grim's still on the board. We have to assume Ho-Oh's in the back. I could send out the Comfey, and I could go Draining Kiss into the Grim and a Rising Voltage. Now, we haven't seen anything on that, what is that Pokemon? The Duskmane? It hasn't got any Steel Spikes, right? But we don't know if it's vested. I don't know anything about it, but I know that I need to Policy Proc. So I could also Policy Proc myself and ignore the Grim, and if I get Spirit Breaked and I Draining Kiss myself, it's not a good look either, right? So, we have to do what I do here. We have to go Calyrex. This is twofold the reason why we're going Calyrex. We need Calyrex to get the KO on Grim, so Calyrex can two-shot Ho-Oh. That's important for later on in the game. Also, I want you guys to see this board. I want you guys to understand what's going to happen here. Last turn, Trick Room. Right? I will do a couple things here. This is a win. This turn right here, if this goes the way I want it to, this is a win-win for me. It's like an 8 times win. There's like no way we lose in this situation. Last turn, Trick Room. Let's get the main board, and we'll talk about every flowchart that happens. So, Zekrom goes down here. Look at this. So, 2 things can happen. You destroyed my perspective of Zek. I almost think it's special now, and I have to remind myself, and I'm always afraid. That's what's good about Zek. So, if we click Glacial Lance, we will KO the Grim and chip this, and we'll get a +1. If you were to Steel Spike me, I get to hit you with a Rising Voltage for over half. It's a 1.3 boost on the 170 stab. It's over half. Doesn't matter what your set is. This is last turn Trick Room. I just do it again, right? That's a win-win. You cannot break the Zek, right? So if you Steel Spike here, if you Sun Steel Strike, I win. We do have 3 Trick Room Setters. If you Sunsteel Strike, I win. There's another hidden way that we win even more. If you're Grim, which is at 1, Sucker Punches the Duskmane to go for an Earthquake on my Zek. After getting +2, he will not KO me. I will still get my +1. I will not die over here. And I'll KO with a Weakness Policy procced Rising Voltage. Let's see which option you choose. Again, win-win for me. There is no getting out of this one here. And we double into the Grim, just in case they wanted to switch Grim out for Ho-Oh. Grim would not ever carry Protect, but Duskmane might. So we actually just double that. And just in case they wanted to go Protect Duskmane, switching to Ho-Oh. They go with the Sucker Punch variant. Hey, you know what? They woke up, chose violence. I can respect that. Again, if you hit my Calyrex, I win. And if you go for the EQ, I still win. Yeah, it was the double target. That was a good play. Single target in the Grim to respect the Ho-Oh. Because Ho-Oh is the problem, you know? Look at this. So that's a +1. It's required to win this game. Because we need that to 2-shot Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh's still a big issue. Get that Chilling Neigh boost. And I don't know. I'm assuming he's going for the EQ, right? There's the EQ. EQ won't KO our Zek. We're too dummy thick here. We're way too dummy thick. Zekrom. Yo, let me show you how a real man eats a Weakness Policy right here. Weakness Policy. +2. Using a Stabbed. Rising Voltage. Boosted by the power of the terrain. The big damage. We just woke up and chose damage right there. That was a lot of damage. That Duskmane that thought he was so cool. He thought he was the best thing ever. He had a Reflect Up and +3. Defense. Special attack. Pretty good, right? Whew, whew. And now the Ho-Oh, I'm like, all right, this is over. We win, right? This is over. We win. I don't even... There's one more turn in the Trick Room. I could go Protect Zek. Because I'm like, I actually assumed Ho-Oh would outspeed this. Like, I assumed Zekrom would just I assumed, yeah, look what we do here, watch. It's fine. There's no way we lose in this situation. Because we have the 2-shot potential with this. Yep, does over half. Even if you have Citrus, we're still fine. And they go for EQ. I was not expecting the EQ. I was like, if you want to go for a Sacred Fire, I hit you with the other one. And I didn't expect the EQ, but we still win. This is also the last turn in Trick Room. So this guy's thinking, he's like, oh man, I might almost come back and get this one. And I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like, I have so many Trick Room setters that are all so much different typing that we're fine. So we still haven't caught Sash on our Comfey. Remember how Comfey was the key to winning the game and we switched it out on the first turn? Oh my gosh, it's almost like Comfey won us the game. But shout outs to their speed reduced nature Ho-Oh. So we just go Protect Trick Room, and then we go Foil Healing, Glacial Lance. And we're still got a Foil Healing, so we don't get a freaking Quick Claw Ho-Oh'd. But yeah, we win. We do stay winning right here. Big undefeated. They're thinking about it too. I think this turn, what they did, I go Protect Trick Room, and you're going to see them target the Comfey. I think they just went for, I think they respected Ally Switch, which I think that's good. You know, I think that's fine. You just go after that slot. Play around me using Ally Switch instead of the Protect Trick Room. And, yeah. Yeah, we just win. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, undefeated. You'll love to see the undefeated. And it felt good. We had a couple easier matchups, but like we also had this matchup and the matchup with the other Sun team that was like super, super hard. So we do be taking those. That's all I gotta say, man. We do be taking those. It was a lot of fun. We take the KO on the Ho-Oh. We win. Undefeated. 5-0. And that's all the games that we're going to play today. I'm just going to play 5. I'm probably going to play 5 today. And I'm probably going to play like 5 or 6 on Sunday. You can't get CP from this tournament. I think that they disabled CP for like this tournament. And they made... Yeah, they disabled CP for this one, but you'll get CP in the next 2. So I was like, the fact that you can't get CP, I'm not going to go super hard. We were top 100, though. 1575 is where I ended it. But undefeated, we do be taking those. And, yeah. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys had a good time. If you guys want to see my team one more time, it's over here. Saturday tournament already happening? Yep. Yeah, good team. Cool Venusaur set. Cool Torkoal set. Zekrom, Calyrex, Comfey, Bronzong. Team's going to be up on Patreon at 5 a.m. on February 18th. If people want to check out the rental code and use it in the ladder, you also can just use this team in the tournament if you want, if you haven't started your games yet.